Wisp Sports Radio, the voice of women in sport.
Hello, and welcome to episode 9 of Ready, Steady, Rehab on Wisp Sports Radio, where we believe that women in sport deserve equal coverage. Wisp Sports Radio is brought to you by Highlands Earache Drops.
Earaches are one of the primary causes for doctor visits, with over 30 million visits per year. After you've been diagnosed with an earache by a physician, try Highlands Homeopathic Earache Drops and Tablets. Highlands Homeopathic Ear Drops and Tablets provide natural relief to help you get back to doing what you love. Visit highlands.com/ear-pain to find a retailer near you. Claims are based on traditional homeopathic practice, not accepted medical evidence, not FDA evaluated. Read and follow label directions.
Ready, Steady, Rehab is an all-new podcast about sports injuries, what can cause them, the symptoms to look out for, and the rehabilitation process. Welcome to this episode. I'm Dr. Heather North, Doctor of Physical Therapy from Red Hammer Rehab. And on today's episode, I'm going to be talking a little bit about posture and all the things that we should be paying attention to in regards to posture, how it can help our athletic performances, and how it can also help us feel a little bit better during the workday. I see a lot of issues, especially in today's day and age, where people work at computers, they check their cell phones, they are on their iPads, they're on their laptops, they're constantly looking kind of down, longer commutes to work, so posture definitely is an issue. We don't spend much time behind our bodies, we spend much time in front of our bodies, working and strengthening the pec muscles, tightening all that musculature down. So what really I want to kind of start off with is what symptoms might you be having if you're having postural issues. So a really common one that I see in the office is, you know what, I have a lot of pain between my shoulder blades, and my neck hurts, my upper shoulders hurt. This is kind of the posture that I'm going to go through. Headaches are oftentimes a problem here, and it's just that kind of nagging pain that just doesn't go away with basic stretching. It can impede your ability to work properly. It just kind of makes you feel pretty rotten. So what causes these issues? And again, just at the beginning, we kind of talked a little bit about, you know, spending too much time in the computer. So it really is maintaining bad positions for a really long period of time. It's not to say that we can't sit at a desk or check our iPhone. It really basically means that we just need to think a little bit more about our posture and the right ways to be doing that. So first of all, a big problem that I see with people is, you know, you're stretching your muscles basically the wrong way. And I know it sounds really crazy. I hear this all the time. I'm at work, I'm starting to get pain between my shoulder blades, my neck hurts, and you start to stretch the muscles between your shoulder blades. You kind of pull your arm across your body, and this is actually just kind of re-emphasizing the problem. So, you know, you are making sure that those muscles are even more lengthened than they should be. So they're just fighting to stay alive. They're not strong enough. And so all of the nerve tissue and musculature is really angry and upset. And your joints can even get involved in this discomfort. So things to think about are, you know, stretching the opposing muscles. We'll kind of get into this at the end of the program where, you know, I give you a list of things that you can do to help yourself feel better. But yeah, stretching those pec muscles, actually looking up towards the ceiling, opening your arms out to the side, squeezing your shoulder blades together, and really avoiding stretching the muscles between your shoulder blades, and again, re-emphasizing that posture. So desk positioning it's a huge deal, and I know it is so trendy to say, you know, standing workstation, but that's a good option. You know, some patients are getting workstations with a really slow-moving treadmill attached to it. I really like saddle stools. It allows you to kind of sit with your legs out to the side. A really big piece is to thinking about where your computer screen is sat in front of you. So, you know, if you've got a laptop, you want to be putting your laptop up on some type of a lift and having a wireless keyboard down below so you're not looking down at the screen. You want to make sure that you're not having to strain to see the screen. So if that's the case, you're either going to have to bring it in closer to you, or you actually, unfortunately, you're going to have to get glasses. So that straining, that kind of chin jutted out position starts to make sure that all those muscles in the back of your neck are overworking, and the muscles in the front of your neck, what we call the abdominal muscles of the neck, aren't doing their job. They're kind of lax, and everything is kind of getting pressurized in the lower part of your cervical spine. So, these issues can really affect sports. Cycling is huge. So, if you spend 8 to 10 hours a day at a desk and you go out and you try to bike and you're keeping your head in that same position, it can cause a lot of problems. Rock climbing, that's another big one where I see a ton of issues. So again, spending all day in that position, and then you're going and trying to rock climb. And then also those sports in themselves can cause a lot of problems. So poor neck posture while you're riding, inability to use those deep neck flexors in the front of your neck, that's huge. And rock climbing, again, looking up, not learning how to kind of tuck that chin back a little bit. That's going to be huge in order to make sure that you're successful at sport. Even running, trail running, there's a lot of jolting. If you don't have that ability to kind of squeeze those shoulder blades together, you're not going to get that kind of nice lung expansion that you need to have. So, why is this important to get figured out and work on this at a younger age? You want to be attacking this as soon as you can before there are joint changes. So, we can definitely see in MRIs and x-rays that the vertebrae actually start to wedge, create a little wedging effect from all of the sustained posture. So it really isn't that as you get older, your back starts to curve. It's basically that as you get older, you're not working on posture. You're re-emphasizing this pectoralis and kind of chest strength and not enough scapular strength. And so every year that passes, you're working more and more on holding that poor positioning. And again, as the years go by, you're going to see that curvature increase more and more. Disc height, that's a big one. Again, if you're kind of leaning forward, that disc is going to become wedged too, which can pinch nerves. It can cause irritation to the joints in itself. That can cause arthritis in the back. And again, like we talked about, your ability to expand those lungs is huge. And if you have poor thoracic and even neck posture, you can't get the air in and out like you need to. Shoulder range of motion can be massively affected with poor thoracic flexibility. There's a lot of research studies that show that the better your thoracic mobility, the better your ability to use your arms. So in sports like tennis and volleyball, basketball, that need to kind of get the arms way up high, it's going to be really affected.
A world of triathlon from the Sports Dynamic Duo. Listen to the Siri and Beck Show on Wisp Sports Radio.
Siri. And I'm Beck from Believe Ranch and Rescue. We are thrilled that Believe Ranch and Rescue has been chosen as the official charity for Wisp Sports coverage of the FEI World Equestrian Games. Chris Stafford will be bringing daily coverage of the games from September 11 to 23 on the Horse Show podcast and on Wisp Sports Facebook page live with live video coverage. Be sure to stay tuned for that.
Wisp Sports Radio.
Let's go ahead and touch on 7 exercises to kind of help alleviate the pain. So first of all, I really like just the basic simple wall angel. So you're going to stand as close as you can to the wall, forearms against the wall, head against the wall. Again, tuck that chin back, again, drawing that chin down towards your sternum. And you're really going to try to trace the line of that wall with your forearms all the way up above the head and all the way down, really focusing on squeezing those shoulder blades together and back. Rows. And then this isn't the second one. So rows is our second exercise. This isn't that exercise where you're kind of pulling on that rope machine at the gym. This is more about using an exercise band. You're emphasizing that last phase, that squeezing the shoulder blades together. So you can do 2 versions of this, grabbing onto that exercise band, elbows squeezed together, thumbs pointed towards each other, and then you can also thumbs out, and you're really kind of trying to kind of almost the hitchhiker posture on both sides, still squeezing those shoulder blades together, but thumbs are going out. All right, so number 3 is stretching those pectoralis muscles. So this is a chance to kind of, again, focus on doorway stretch. Elbows should be at 90 degrees, shoulders at 90 degrees, and you're just really going to settle into that. You can also draw the arm up a little bit by about 45 degrees to catch that other pec muscle. And number 4, rolling out over a foam roller. So those foam rollers that you work on your lateral quads with, those are really good for increasing your thoracic spine mobility. So again, we need strength, flexibility, and you also need joint flexibility. So arching back over that foam roller is really, really beneficial. You might hear some cracks and pops. That's absolutely fine. Nothing to worry about. It's really normal. You're just helping to kind of increase that flexibility of the tissue. So you can also even have that foam roller parallel to your spine, under your head, under your sacrum, and just stretch out side to side. This is a great tool to have at work, after big races, things like that. So you can just spend, 5-10 minutes just relaxing and stretching out. All right, so neck exercises. This is hugely important. So again, that chin tucked in position. And I know it's super weird. I think I've said this in another podcast, but imagine that there's a really stinky piece of poop on a stick right in front of your face and you're tucking that chin back. And as you tuck that chin back, you can also practice looking up towards the ceiling, maintaining that chin tuck position. Again, working those abdominal muscles, quote unquote, of your neck. All right, so spending time on your stomach. How we always encourage babies to spend tummy time. As adults, oddly enough, it sounds crazy, but it's really important that we're spending some time not always looking down, forward, and doing everything in front of our bodies. So, if you're going to check email in the evening, watch some television, read a book, hang out on your stomach, prop up on your elbows, lay on your stomach. Really think about working those opposing muscles as much as possible. And the last one, while you're in this position, this is a really fun one. You can just take a ball or a towel or anything, any object that's somewhat light, maybe nothing more than a couple of pounds. You're basically passing that around your body. So you're going to pass that ball kind of to your feet, in between the feet, and then the feet pass it around to your arms. So you're passing that object around your body, which really makes you work low back extensors, muscles in between your shoulders, and deep neck flexors, again, maintaining that posture. These are some really simple things to do. The main thing is as much as you can during the day to focus on changing that posture. You do a sport for a couple of hours a day, maybe half an hour a day, but you sit at your desk for 8 hours a day and you spend time in your car, in front of the television, in front of books, in front of the computer for many other hours a day. So really, really focus on that posture as much as you can.
Conversations from the world of women's sports. This is Wisp Sports Radio.
I hope you found this helpful, and if you'd like some more information, please visit my website at redhammerrehab.com. And this will be provided in the show notes. You can also email info@wispsports.com with any questions you may have about sports injuries. And then on our next episode, we're going to be talking about kind of a fun topic of cracking your knuckles and other snapping and cracking of your body joints, and is that safe? There will also be links to the show notes accompanying this episode at wispsports.com, so just go to listen and click on Ready, Steady, Rehab. For more conversations in the world of women's sport, please visit wispsports.com and subscribe to Wisp Sports Radio on your podcast player. You can also post your comments and share on social media, so just look for at Red Hammer Rehab and at Wisp Sports. And again, please remember to visit our sponsors at highlands.com/ear-pain. Thank you so much for listening and supporting women in sports.